Okay guys, today is modified regular day. So this is the modified regular that I'm going to install into my M17 and do the follow-up video to just doing the bypass. So I'll tear this down for you quick. I've already loosened this off. So to do this, what you would have to do is strip your regulator down completely. Hopefully I can do this relatively quickly. There we go. Okay, so that's the bypass right there. Very simple to come apart. And my PRV out. I didn't bring my pick with me, so I'm not going to remove that, but this is just a demonstration of what I do to accomplish what I do. Bear with me here 1 second. Just grab something. So, I will show you the regulator that I was messing with previously, and kind of all the little bits and bobs that I went through before I just came to the realization that keep it simple, stupid. So you got your regulator stripped down, you've removed your orifice already, possibly, but if not, that needs to come out. And the only thing you need to do is a 3/32 drill bit. Oh, sorry, 3/16 drill bit. 3/16 drill bit. Now, I originally did this modification without a drill press. It was super simple, and it worked, but I got picky. This is just aluminum block. It's super soft. With a steady hand, you can quite easily drill into this. You can quite easily drill into this hole here. Or you can see there's 3/16 bit going in. And if you look in there, you can see where the bit comes through. So this is why you can only do this with the bypass. It actually drills into the area where your valve seat would normally be sitting. So if you're going to do this at your own risk, of course, you must run the bypass. And that is all. The follow-up video that I'm going to do of me shooting this is what you're going to, is the extra FPS you're going to achieve. And previously I had seen about 20 FPS just by doing this mod on top of the bypass. And that's it. It's really simple. It really is. But I'm going to show you. That's not where it all started. So this is not my original one, but this is one of the more successful ones. So of course, 3/16 hole is drilled into the center. And it's 3/16 because these two holes here are your push pins to lock into the rear of the M17 here. Now what I originally learned, or what I first learned, was I did drill 3/16, and then I thought, well, let's go bigger. And I went bigger. And what I had actually done was this goes right in between like this. I had thinned the walls too thin between here, and bam, she popped. Luckily, the pins contain most of that. It really just scared the bejesus out of me. I wasn't harmed in any manner. So that is the reason for the 3/16 hole. You cannot go any larger here. The next step was, after I discovered that, I drilled a 3/16 hole. And I dimpled this here. Now, an end mill could do a really nice job here. This dimple that I created just with a drill bit, and I believe it was a 5/8. Don't quote me on that because I'm kind of skipping this particular mod or modification anyways. This was a +5 FPS. But originally I did this dimple with a 3/4, which was almost as large as this. So what happened was when I threaded this down, it still didn't have a flat surface to meet to. So my air chamber leaked. So next time I drilled the 5/8. This works. Now, if you had the proper machines and you could end mill this and make a nice little cavity here, as opposed to me just using my caveman drill bits and my drill press, you might see a little bit more improvement, because that is the actual volume you'd be creating for your air chamber. But that being said, you have to be careful again. You can only dimple this or end mill this. I couldn't tell you exactly, because that particular one I didn't drill I didn't foobar that one up. So I don't know the thickness in between here, but you can take your best guess here. You know, maybe you could well, I mean, I dimpled it about 1/8 of an inch. I think that's safe. I never had any issue with that dimple. There was no failures with that. But it could be expanded more, like I said, if you're able to properly end mill this, and you get a nice square hole. Obviously, I don't know what I'm calling it. A cylindrical hole would have more air volume than this kind of dished hole that I have. So that's that. Now, the next thing I did was I drilled out this center portion here where normally your valve seat goes. I got a little greedy, and I thinned this back wall too much. This back wall isn't very thick. I'm talking, I mean, it can't be more, just a hair more than a 1/16 of an inch thick. It is not very thick at all. And what happened is when I aired the marker, poof! That screw wasn't in there, but what happened was it blew a hole right through the rag in the bottom. So that screw was my attempt at plugging the hole and then inserting epoxy inside to make a better seal. What I found, this did nothing for FPS. It did nothing at all, absolutely nothing at all. And there are smarter people than me, but my guess is the transfer of air is limited by this size of hole. And enlarging this hole here, it didn't allow the air to transfer any faster into the air chamber. So it's kind of a moot point. So I don't drill it. As you can see, this is the one I'm going to be installing next and doing the video for. It's not drilled. Something else that came to my attention is when I have a few markers that are bypassed. My FSC is also bypassed, my TIPX is bypassed. And something strange happens is when I have a full bottle, it counts down FPS like almost like it was meant to be. It's like 1, down 1, down 1, down 1, down 1. And what I found is that has to do with the fill rate. So because now the marker is unregulated, the bottle's really just rushing in here. Now the bottle is still regulated, but every time that bottle chugs air in, the next chug just isn't quite as powerful, at least, especially when I'm running 1100 PSI. So you get that kind of tick down, tick down, tick down, and it does settle and stays consistent, you know, for probably 10 shots or so. Now, I say 10 because I'm only using a 10 CI tank. 13 CI tank behaves a little better with the bypass. This makes it thirsty. So, in any case, that countdown, what I did I tried to alleviate that. So what I actually did was drill into the ASA side to hopefully allow that air just to get in there faster. Nope, didn't do anything. Nothing, zero, zip, zilch, zada. So I don't do that anymore. And that is about it. So this is a modified regulator, at least my version of it. It just has a singular 3/16 hole drilled through where normally your brass orifice is under your air chamber. And that is all. If you do it, just make sure you clean all the shavings out. You don't want that stuff going through your marker. You can see, there you go, it's just got the factory ASA, no modifications there, no mods to the valve seat area, and that's all there is to it. So for now, I'm going to call the M17 done. I would love to see someone else, you know, if there's improvements to be had, I'm all ears. By no means I'm not an engineer. Just a guy in his garage. Watch for some other videos I got coming. My FSC's been bypassed for a while. My TIPX has been bypassed for a while. There's some things I've discovered about those. But just for kicks, let's reassemble the bypass because it's really simple. Regulator. Hands are greasy here. Sorry, I'm gonna put this in first this time. I did this last time. It's really hard to get it tight, but I just do that hand tight. It's got the little gasket in it. That's all you need. Pistons in, and then take your cap. And you want to be sure that you do not cross thread this. That goes for even if you're running a factory stack in there. It may not look cross threaded, but if you're not sure, just back it out and try again, because if it is, blow your cap. Same thing will happen with the bypass. If these threads aren't seated properly, you know, that cap is gonna slam up against the bottom here and boop, it won't shoot the end of the cap out, but it's gonna launch your cap out, just the whole cylinder itself. So be aware of that. So watch for the video coming up.